because unlike Neil, I prepared some slides for you today. My name is Darya Zelenina. I am the CEO of VMS Software since last June. And if it's the first time you're seeing me, please don't worry. I am a manager, but I'm not completely hopeless. I have whopping 8 years of experience in OpenVMS. I have my own CD.com, and I can install OpenVMS in a pinch, probably troubleshoot a problem, unless it's ECnet. We don't get along. First, I'd like to thank you all for coming here today. We've had 135 registrations, and I'm so glad to see you all here today. I'm so excited for the program. It's chock full of great, cool new stuff that OpenVMS can do, a little bit of the cool old stuff they can do, and a lot of lessons learned, a lot of people I'm dying to meet. I think it's even better than the previous bootcamp. It's super exciting. I'm really looking forward to being in all the sessions. I can't be in all the sessions, but I'll try to be in as many as I can. And again, a special thank you to the team of organizers who are not here. Yes, I am here to present the corporate directions of VMS software and to talk about what shapes our world today, how we respond, and what we have planned for the future. But whatever we do, it is always to help OpenVMS users protect and realize the full value of their application investments. So what is it that threatens OpenVMS applications today? It's the aging hardware, integrity is approaching end of support in December 2025. And beyond that, it's going to x86 or running unsupported. Alpha has a little bit more time because of the emulators, but still. It's loss of VMS skills. So the generation that has started working with OpenVMS in the 80s and the 90s is overcome with a sudden urge to play golf, talk about the good old days, and yeah. Instead of writing sexy new tools for VMS, so we need to take over. There's lack of information about VMS. We see CIOs and CTOs who don't even know they're running OpenVMS and who don't know how wonderful this operating system is because it's so reliable. They don't even know they need to be they're running it, and it's the incompatibility. So it's VMS sitting in a silo somewhere, not communicating with other systems, not communicating with the modern tools. And consequently, a lack of compliance for customers that are running VMS. So all of these things threaten customer applications in VMS. So what have we done to help with this? Well, for one, we've ported OpenVMS and most layered products, over 40 layered products to x86. We've released a cloud offering. We're running it already. Our customers are running on the cloud in production. And our system services team is here at this event, and they're going to deliver 2 presentations on how exactly they're running in the cloud. And you can check out our website for all the products that we have available for x86. And honestly, we brought most of them to Alpha and Integrity. So you can see the list on the website. We've also acquired 7 new layered products that help customers with system monitoring and management. As far as the VMS generation is concerned, we've hired and trained a lot of new people. At the moment, every product developed by VSI has either both old and new engineers, so the VMS generation and the new generation, or it just has the new people working on it. So we've gotten everyone up to speed. Support is about 50% new, and Debbie's going to talk all about it. Actually, there's a great presentation by Debbie and Dennis O'Brien about exactly how you can achieve this, how you can train new people, how you can hire new people, retain them. And we've also trained over 200 external students, that is customer students, in VMS with our self-paced training and our instructor-led training. In terms of removing obscurity around VMS, we've released the service portal. We're talking to customers much more. There's a dynamic roadmap available on our website, so you can see exactly what we're working on at every moment in time. And there's also a roadmap for the future. We do webinars once every 2 months. We write for a blog every month. We release a wiki and a forum to help gather all of this information about VMS. We've revamped our documentation. We organize boot camps. This is the second boot camp in 12 months that we're holding. And we have teams dedicated just to helping our customers with OpenVMS. We have account management, we have system services, we have application services, all dedicated to helping customers with their applications. Finally, to make OpenVMS play nicely with the rest of the ecosystem and make it more compliant, we've done a lot of open source ports, more than a dozen open source ports. We have performance tools that integrate with industry standard solutions. We have a web-based interface for VMS Web UI. We have a package manager that we just released a field version for, but we are going to improve that. So yeah, I think we've done a lot. We've only been around for 11 years, which in VMS years is maybe like 3. But I feel like we've done a lot for VMS. And, you know, the information, the transformation that's on the outside that you can see in how we're delivering products for OpenVMS, in how we're a bit less delayed in delivering those products. And how we're getting our act together over the years. That is just a fraction of what is actually happening on the inside. And I can't believe how much people who work for this company have grown over these past 11 years. We've completely revamped our operations. We've introduced a lot of modern development practices, QA, documentation. We've revamped our website. We've hired a lot and trained a lot of new people. Actually, our median age went down from 55 to 36, I believe, and that's by adding people. It's not by removing people. Yeah, we've set up automatic order fulfillment. We're making data-driven decisions about our business. We've established account management. So much stuff has happened on the outside of this company, and I am incredibly proud of being able to present it all to you guys here today. I think we've achieved a lot. So what's next? Well, we believe that the biggest threat to our customers' investment in OpenVMS is still the hardware. You know, we want everyone off of Integrity and on x86 as soon as possible. Is OpenVMS on x86 production ready? Yes. 250, actually more than 250 customer servers are running OpenVMS on x86 in production today. For some customer applications, there are still some improvements to be made. But you know, all of our customers on x86, not even close. Even though almost 100 of our customers who are not already migrating have made the decision to migrate, the work has only just begun. And when I say work, it can be a huge amount of work. You know, your mileage may vary, but stories range from you recompile the code, you relink the code, and it runs, to possibly months and years of work, depending on where you are with your source code and whether you need to go fetch it from India. You know, you need to find alternative third-party solutions. My point is, regardless of how hands-on we are involved in our customers' journey to x86, there's still a lot of work to do there. We are taking their support tickets, we're looking into their crash dumps, we are sharing information, we're helping our customers plan, and sometimes we do the whole thing, we do the whole migration for them. We will also be improving VMS further and expanding the cloud offering to make sure that the customers and environments live up to their expectations. Barriers to go to x86 at this point are mainly third-party applications. A lot of our customers depend on things like Oracle RDB or Promise or backup solutions, and we are working with partners. Over 20 of our partners have already migrated their solutions to x86. Actually, a long time ago, and many of them are in this room with us today, and some of them are presenting at the Partner Roundhouse tomorrow. So you can talk to them about their solutions. We will continue to work on the product portfolio. We'll improve ways VMS can interact with modern network protocols, with modern system management tools, be built into the modern development practices. And we will continue to release a lot of information about OpenVMS, making it less obscure, working on new training and engaging with new customers running OpenVMS around the world. It's incredible how many customers we've discovered since we ported to x86, and they're popping up in locations where you wouldn't expect. We didn't know those people had VMS. Some of these people didn't know themselves they had VMS. To sum up, the direction that we're going in is still protecting our customers' investment in OpenVMS. And for the next couple of years, this will still mean putting everybody on x86 in production. And for a broader perspective, I'd like to invite our chairman, Johan Gedda, on stage for his presentation.
Thank you, Darya. So this is a bit of an exercise here where I'm supposed to look at you and not the screen. So I'm going to have to balance it with some notes here. So I'm Johan Gedda. I'm the co-founder and chairman of VMS Software. I'm based here in Copenhagen, Malmö, and I've been here since 2014, which is exactly the time when we bought the OpenVMS operating system from HP. And we used to start these boot camps, and some of you may remember that I spoke at boot camps in 2015 and 16 and 17, and then we had COVID and a few other things, and now we're back at the game. And I also remember when we were doing the due diligence on the operating system, I was invited to go to a boot camp when HP was still, and it was HP at the time, we're still running these events. And I was amazed back then at the enthusiasm I saw from the user community, and that was one of the biggest things that made us, made us go all in and acquire the operating system. So I was the fool back then that wrote a big check to HPE to get the source code license. And over the years here, we paid over $30 million to HPE in various fees and licenses and royalties. So a fairly substantial investment. And this 10-year thing, I mean, you said 11 years. It's really, I guess in July, it'll be 11 years. But there's this saying, and it's attributed to Bill Gates, but others said it before him, that you overestimate what you can get done in a year, but you underestimate what you can get done in 10 years. And it's very, very true for us. We overestimated how fast we could get x86 done, for example. And but when you look at what we've accomplished, it's a pretty terrific story. And the reason we want to do a business update is really to give you a sense of confidence in the stability of our company, in the financial and managerial reliability. Open VMS is a reliable operating system, and we're trying to build a business that's also reliable. And all this to give you a sense of our ability to set long-term plans and to deliver against those plans. So how we're going to do that, we're going to move to the next slide. So the agenda here for the business update is to show that we're a stable, viable, growing business, one that eliminates technical and commercial obstacles along the way, and one that adapts to the evolving technical landscape. People are moving to the cloud, and they're going with virtualization, and these are things that pop up along the way that we have to deal with. And all that to ensure that Open VMS continues to be a viable platform for another 40 plus years. So we're just going to dive into the numbers here. I hope it's of some interest to you. But I mean, this is a really terrific story. The light blue columns, that's the group revenue, and the darker blue is the VMS revenue. So 2014, we acquired the system from HP. We assembled our team. We had no revenue in 2014, really none in 2015 either. And it starts to pick up, but it's very slow. And I mean, if you go all the way to the right here, in 2024, Open VMS did over 40 million in revenues. And I think that's about twice as much as we expected at the time of the acquisition. So there was a lot more life in the Open VMS community than we realized. There are a couple of funny things here on the graph. I mean, you've seen 2022 revenue increased. It looks like it decreased in 2023, but some of our customers do 5-year deals. And for revenue recognition purposes, we need to book a bunch of that up front. So really the annual recurring revenue rate is growing slowly. And so it wasn't like revenue really decreased in 2023. It was just we had to take a slug of it ahead of time in 2022. I think we're over 700 customers right now. I don't know if we know how many are out there. We used to say there were 2,000, but maybe we're 1,200, something like that. I mean, in the group, we have a couple of other things. So that may not be of much interest, but we have a ZOS business with IBM. We build system utilities for IBM. They sell under their own name. We have, and partly because IBM saw how well we had done with Open VMS, they approached us in 2021 and asked us to take on the VSC operating system, which is, I mean, it's kind of a ZOS light, but there are hundreds of customers still running VSC around the world. And then lately, what was in 2023, we bought something called IBM Streams, which is a data analytics application framework with a number of large worldwide customers, Intel, American Airlines, Bank of America, things like that. And again, it's a bit like Open VMS in that they just wanted to get rid of the product to focus on other things, and we're going to step in and contact the customers like we've done with you. And so if you look at where is all this going to go, we're here out to the right. I think by 2030, we think VMS will be a $60 million a year business. We think our ZOS business will be 100 million, VSC 20, Streams 10. That doesn't quite add up to 200, but with something else will pop up along the way. And we think we're going to be a $200 million company by 2030, which is, by Scandinavian terms, there are not a lot of people like us out here. So it's been a pretty amazing journey. I mean, if you have questions, ask me. Investment in R&D. I mean, 60% of our employees are software developers. So we're very heavy R&D focused. This is for the group. I think we spent 165 million on R&D in the 10 years we've been operating. What am I doing here? It's this one. I'm trying to get to the next slide here. VMS, 77 million in R&D in 10 years. That's a, and remember, we're not, even though x86 is ready, we're not decreasing our R&D investment. And we're going to continue to invest in this platform for as long as we can. We're seeing a lot of the deck, the old guard. So sort of many of them are now retiring, and we're replacing them with people that are not based in New Hampshire. Not because we'd love to hire people in New Hampshire. It's just harder to do than hiring them in Greece or Armenia or Copenhagen, for that matter. So here I'm going to try to go through these quickly to show you how not only we're growing revenue, but we're expanding our geographic footprint over time. We started in 2014 with 29 people in the US, and then you can see the revenue on the left where it's growing. And Camille joined in 2015, because he's the only employee we have in the Netherlands, and that would be Brett in New Zealand. And then you can see here how you're adding folks in France, Germany, Russia, and the headcount goes up and the revenue goes up. And here in May 2025, we're 150 full-time employees and 16 consultants. Pretty impressive. And if you look at the growth, I mean, we've grown the employee base by 500% in VMS and 700% in the group. And then, I mean, we decided we're going to show you that after many years of not making any money, we started making money in 2015, and earnings are good. About half of the earnings here are VMS, and the other half is IBM. But also, I mean, these are good numbers, but keep in mind, we also have paid the 30 million to HV, and we paid a bunch of money to IBM to get those assets. So, accomplishments and conclusions. So the conclusion is really that this bet that we made on OpenVMS worked. Technically, one by one, we've eliminated the threats that are out there. And I think when we were going back to 2015, we weren't sure how we were going to solve all the problems that we had, right? I think today there are no problems we don't know how to solve. I mean, there are no threats here. But the code was a big problem in the beginning. I mean, because HP couldn't find the code, and we had to go to India and recover it and assemble it, and much of it was missing, and much of it is still missing, but we've rewritten what we had to rewrite, and we've solved the problems in other ways. So that's an example. That's a fundamental problem when you're trying to put an operating system together that we solved. And we didn't know if we could find the people out there that had the skills to deal with, this huge backlog of technical and product issues that we had to deal with. But we were able to find them, and they were willing to come work for us, and they were willing to train a new generation of young engineers to pick up. Darya mentioned all the systems that we had to build. I mean, we had to build a data center. We had to get all the hardware together. It's been, you look at that graph, it looks really easy in retrospect when you look back at 10 years. You can imagine that, HP just gave us some really terrific software, but but they didn't. I mean, they did, but there was just a ton of work, right? And customers came rushing over to buy from us. They didn't, right? In fact, we're still dealing with HP in many cases where they're continuing to renew VMS contracts that they're not supposed to. I mean, the people at headquarters in Palo Alto are not doing this deliberately, but you have salespeople all over the world that want to hang on to their customers, right? So we had to pay them in 2019. We had to go back to HP and say, listen, this has to stop. We can't run our business. And if you look at the growth really kicked in 2019 because we had to pay them another $10 million for the contracts. And now they're not renewing contract anymore, and people are with us, and we can help move everyone along to x86 and so on. So I'm just it looks easy, but it's been a ton of work. Commercially, I mean, we had to build a commercial team, and I think now we have a global, young, capable team. They've been trained on OpenVMS. They can help you with everything you need. We've had to streamline a bunch of antiquated processes that we inherited from HP. That's done, and I think we're all about customer focus, and we will talk to people that actually understand your environments and that can help you. And I mean, and we hope to get even closer to what you're doing on the application side as we will look at what we're going to do next. Services, another accomplishment. I mean, I think services have always been a strong point for OpenVMS. You call our support desk, you get to talk to someone who can fix your problem right away, right? I think universally our customers are extremely happy with the level of service or support that we provide. x86 migrations, I mean, a small percentage of our customers have really moved across. That a ton of services work to come. Managed services, we're looking into application services, we're looking into the industry thing here is just that out there in the, you know, the industry background is out there, and we're dealing with all that. So to conclude is then, as we look to the future, what's in store for OpenVMS? And back in 2015 and 16, we're sort of laying out this steady progress agenda. And I think that's where we are today still, you know, more steady progress, nothing revolutionary. After 10 years on the software side, all the way to the left, we are still onboarding large clients, you know, household names. And you wonder, how on earth could this be that big companies, after 10 years, are still running, you know, their HP old OpenVMS licenses? It's because it is so reliable that this thing runs in the background, so they don't have overwhelming technical needs to do anything. After 10 years, we're adding more customers than we're losing, so revenues continue to grow. I mean, obviously, at some point, these applications will morph into something different, but we think there is a role for us there. You know, a funny thing is that in 2014, we approached a number of the customers, and they were all saying, you know, no, not all, but many of them were saying that we're moving off the platform, right? And what do you think they're saying in 2025? Well, they're still saying we're moving off the platform, some of them, right? But it's been a while. So now the focus is on x86. And that migration, but we know of many clients out there that are planning to run OpenVMS into the 2050s. So there is a lot left in this operating system. Services, we spent a lot of time talking about the skill transfer, but that's going to be more of a commercial focus for us moving forward, and we're recruiting. You know, quite a bit here to build out our migration services team, to be able to take on managed services engagements, and to later dig into your application if you so require. A skill transfer, the people side. I mean, I'm the most proud of the fact that we've been able to recruit and retain really good people to pick up on an open VMS. And they say, say Cowboys work is never done. And it's, so it is for us too. We have to get up in the morning and look after the herd, and then, so this is going to continue, and we have the processes in place, and we're hiring across all the jurisdictions, right? So even though the core deck team will retire in the next few years, right? And many of them are in their 70s now. We're hiring in the US. We're also hiring elsewhere, but so we're in all these time zones and jurisdictions, and leading to the next point here. So what could be next for VMS software? And an obvious thing is that we need to leverage this fantastic business we put together that is present all across the globe and helping, soon to be 1,000 customers. And we already have 1,000 customers if you include the IBM business. But we're not going to do anything revolutionary here. We're very customer focused. We go to you to see what you need us to help you with next. And so we are going to do more for existing customers and partners. And I forgot to talk about the partners, but the good news is that our partners have seen that we're delivering on our commitments. And so I think, Oracle is an example of someone who's warmed up to what we do over the years and are really constructed today. And we're helping move customer applications to the Oracle Cloud, for example. We're helping with some of the work that they're doing to port their software to the x86 platform. So there's a big check mark there. Is there a new open VMS? I mean, I think we started out thinking in 2015 that, maybe we could repurpose the code and do something else. What are we going to repurpose open VMS to run a quantum computer? No, we're not going to do that, right? That's just not a good idea. But there may be, again, not next year, but if you go out 10 years from now, I think we will have found niches out there that may need clustering, or one of the things that OpenVMS is really good at, and we'll develop with customer solutions that stay with those applications that need the clustering, if that is what we do. And I put here, find additional ecosystems to manage, and that is absolutely something we're going to continue to do. I mentioned VSE and now streams. I mean, HP has assets, Dell Computer has assets. We're talking to them now about something. IBM has a ton of stuff that they're just not capable of maintaining themselves. And they know what we can do. And so that will continue. And then let me just leave off on what we're not going to do, what is not next. So we're not going to go and do a private equity exit that most software companies do, right? And many of our customers, in fact, IBM and HP also worry about that. So we're not going to go and kind of orchestrate some financial exit where prices go up and people are let go. We like what we're doing, and we're going to continue to try to run this business at the kind of margins that we're running it now, so we can continue to grow. And that's it for me. Are we having questions? Yeah.
You thought about OEM solutioning, in terms of looking at software as a service based on OpenVMS. So basically, make sure that there's a solution, because I don't think operating system is not interesting for customers.
Can people hear? Or well, you want to take that one? Yeah.
Yeah, I can take this one. So the question was about OEM solutions, software as a service. Yes, this is a direction that we're very much looking into. Like I said, we're running on Oracle Cloud now, and the next step would actually be to run customer applications in Oracle Cloud. And we have lots of customers that kind of run the same application. You know, an example would be Promise, right? So we could definitely offer to run that for the customer, or we could run the applications that they wrote. So yes, this is very, very much in the picture.
Do people know what Promise is?
Promise is a semiconductor manufacturing application that many of our customers run.
Applied
to
Materials,
manufacturing, yeah.
you know, what do we have, 20 odd customers, semiconductor manufacturing customers,
Yes,
uh,
large ones though.
large ones, right, which is pretty remarkable. Any other questions? Yeah.
Is there something specific you could point to that where VMS from moving money in 2015 to growing?
You're gonna
in
take this one,
years
maybe.
after?
Well,
Could you repeat?
the question is, did something flip in 2015, you know, that made us go from not making any money to making a little bit of money?
Though it was 19, I think.
18.
No, but I mean, for one thing, you know, customers did not move off the platform and had to do something. And by just contacting them regularly, every quarter, every month, whatever the rate was, you know, reality caught up with them, and whether it was someone retiring and they don't know what to do anymore, but the fact that we were there, I mean, it was a gradual process, as you saw. I think when the real flip happened when HP stopped renewing customers that they, you know, they shouldn't have been renewing, but they did. And again, I mean, this happens with IBM too. I mean, they're just not set up to police their, you know, and frankly, they have great salespeople that look after their customers, and they don't know what we are. And you know, think of customers in Japan, for example. You know how many geographies work differently than how we work. They would just never let a customer down. Do you know what I mean? Not that we're not letting customers down either, but the flip was really when we bought the contracts, and then IBM, you know, no, IBM, I say, HP announced publicly that they were not renewing these contracts, and eventually the customer base caught on and called us.
Can I add something? Yeah, so I agree with Johan that it was a gradual process, a bit more than a flip. But it's also true that, you know, the first versions that we released for integrity servers and alphas, they weren't that different from the latest versions that HP released. But then gradually we started adding more products. And as we were closer to actually porting x86, we're closer to, you know, showing the bootstrap and, you know, the first boot of VMS. I think that gave us a lot of credibility. And when we released the field test, it kind of all started catching on, and its process has been insane. It's Zoltan. Hi.
So I see from the presentation that we submitted the best returns economic as well. And these plans after 2030, they look brilliant. I just wonder, those figures, how they are, what they are based on. Because we know that year 2000, there were about 200,000 VMS users. So now you said that we have about 900. So it means more than 90% lost. So the question is that those figures are based on keeping growing our current customers, or how many new customers, absolute new customers that never touched VMS, they are coming to BSI and say, I would like to buy. Yes.
Okay, great question, Zoltan. I'll take this one.
Yes, you take that.
Okay, so like I said, we're not currently targeting any new customers, as in never seen OpenVMS in their life customers, right? However, there are lots of companies out there running OpenVMS that do not have a contract with us and do not know what to do at the moment. Many of them are running integrity servers. They need to go somewhere. Some of them are running alpha servers and maybe they've gone to an emulator, so at least their hardware is safe, but they need all the new stuff that we're bringing to the networking stack, all the open source tools. So they also come to us. They come to us for support. They come to us for compliance. And it is, we are not exactly sure how many customers there are, but it's thousands of servers, actually dozens of thousands of servers out there on the planet in all of the new markets that we're working on and the old ones. So if we go segment by segment, I would say first there's x86. Customers are migrating to x86 and there's a growing demand for services. And this is largely what the numbers are based off, because we have a lot more customers in need of services right now. And this can be application services, helping them migrate, maintain their application. These can be managed services. So we are factoring in that demand. Okay, there's that. There's the x86 segment. And then we can also see that there are a lot of alpha customers out there that are in an emulator. They don't want to migrate off of the alpha, and sometimes they cannot migrate off of the alpha because they lost the source code or something else has happened. And we are looking into those customers as well. Looks like there are a lot of them out there. And I just want to emphasize that our alpha offering today is basically the same as the x86. I mean, it's not on x86, but if you look at the applications that we have available and the features that we have available for alpha today, it's the same. They're on par with the x86 versions. Yes, we have not released an alpha version in quite a while, but that doesn't mean that the updates are not there. So Camille is going to talk about our alpha strategy. And that targets a lot of customers that we're hoping to work with. Right, so talked about x86 services, alpha, what else? Yeah. So that's primarily where the numbers are coming from. I think it's actually a very conservative estimate that we had on the slide there. I think there's more customers out there. And once, I think we still haven't crossed that bridge to x86 yet. Yes, it's catching on. Yes, we have hundreds of servers running in production in x86 now, but we need to have more. We need to have most of our customers safely on x86. We need to get in that work before we can start working on something completely new, working for new niches for OpenVMS, because guess what? That's going to change OpenVMS. We're going to have to make additions to it. We're going to have to bring in new products. Maybe we'll have to change OpenVMS to the point when it's a new version of like a different kind of OpenVMS. So it is going to be a huge change. It's going to be a lot of work. We want to make sure most of our customers are safely on x86 before then. That's the whole point of the strategy. Yeah. Sorry, there were more questions? I think there were. Maybe I answered like it doesn't now. There, I got the same question.
But we'll be floating around here too during the conference, and feel free to come with questions later. Yep.
For both of you, what's your favorite new ports, additions to VMS, new changes that you've seen in VMS in the past year?
Just one.
More recent things.
More recent thing. Okay. The stuff that's released or the under the covers stuff. I mean, while they were still letting me write code, I was participating in a hackathon project for a tool that automated OpenVMS installation and deployment. So you could feed in a YAML file and you would get an OpenVMS VM at the other end. I mean, that we still haven't released that, but because I worked on that tool, 3 sleepless nights, it's very dear to my heart. But other than that, we have a lot of stuff. We released the package manager and we're still working on improving that. there's the OCI cloud deployment that's also largely automated. I don't know, there's VMS SPI, there's Web UI, there's so much cool new stuff. I don't know what to pick. You have any thoughts on this?
I'm just happy x86, got done. As an investor, yeah.
And I don't know, is it ever done?
No.
We'll keep moving. Keep moving with it.
Mhm. Are we good on time? Yeah?
Yeah, I
Yep.
think we still have a couple minutes.
I can maybe add something.
Absolutely.
I was going to save this for when I talk about what we do for Alpha and Actinium customers, but just yesterday I heard from one of my colleagues, and this goes into who are our clients, our potential customers out there. And in a lot of cases, our customers themselves or potential customers themselves don't know that. I heard a story yesterday from one of my colleagues. They got a support call from some company we never even heard of. And they said, we're in a bit of a panic. We changed something in our disk subsystem, and now our VMS system won't boot. Okay. What has changed? We don't know. Okay. When was the last time you booted your system? About 10 years ago. It's just been that stable. Okay. So has anything changed on the system itself? We don't know. Our system manager retired a few years ago. Okay. We managed to sort it out, and we need to now sort out how they're going to pay for what we did for them. But they will likely be our customer. So they're coming out of the woodworks, sometimes small ones with just a couple of servers, sometimes really big ones with hundreds of servers. And they have just realized, hang on, we have this huge contract with HP that covers everything, but it no longer covers OpenVMS because it's no longer an HP product. So they're coming to us, they're still coming to us. I don't know if there's 2,000 out there or maybe 20,000. We'll find out when they come to us.
Maybe I could just, don't forget marketing, don't forget clustering. That's the two words I think digital failed on, not communicating to the customers.
Communicating about clustering or
The feature
not
of the clustering is second to none,
Mhm.
and marketing was not existing in data. If they have been able to fix this, I think tech has been here.
Okay, Kara, have you got that down?
Yeah.
Right?
But we are marketing now finally, right? We've been focused on product development and rightly so, because we really didn't have anything, that we could seriously go out and market. But the marketing is still mostly aimed at existing customers, right? Until the day we have, a semiconductor manufacturing wafering application that's maybe operating system agnostic, because we're just supporting a platform that can be sold to new customers that may be running on OpenVMS, but it's not. I mean, many of our customers don't want us to don't mention to my CIO that it's VMS. He's happy or she's happy with the application. Everyone is happy, but if they knew that this was running on OpenVMS, we'd have to do something about it. So don't mention it. So marketing has to be, we have to be clever about how we communicate the advantages like clustering of the solution that people have picked.
Yeah, and we are working on talking about VMS to a larger audience. You'll see a lot of material on our website aimed at that, but I just think it's not a quick switch. It's going to take a lot of time to brainwash people back into believing that OpenVMS is the great operating system that it is. So it takes a while.
There's a lot of appliance devices out there, and they really explode. So we could just be another appliance device to the application.
That's an interesting thought. We've looked at it and we believe that maybe the strengths of OpenVMS are not a great fit for this particular application, but we can talk about this. Please let me know your thoughts. I love to hear what you guys think, and if you can be very specific, that's even better. Okay. Should we wrap this up now? More questions? Going once, going twice. All right. Thank you. Enjoy your first